Welcome everyone to Click Moments, where the right information at the right time is a portal from where you are to where you want to be. And I'm your host, Beth Orr, and today we're going to be talking about the commitment that we make to loving ourselves, to doing things for us in a way that supplies us, invigorates us, energizes us. And I want to talk about this because just yesterday, I had this opportunity to love on myself in a way that was way beyond the way that I was. And I didn't even notice that there was this like different way that I can love myself that I needed. Like we think love is love, right? Like, and so sometimes when I'm loving myself in a really kind way that feels good, I can think that that's enough. But there was a different way that I needed to love on myself yesterday that I figured out. And I want to talk about this. And I think that it's especially something that can happen when we're entrepreneurs or we're doing something that we just love so much. Like we could do it all the time. Like I love what I'm creating in the work that I'm doing. I love what I do. I love it so much that sometimes I choose not to go have fun and play because I'm having fun creating, but it's a different kind of fun. It's the fun where my mind is constantly going. I'm taxing that part of me. My mind eventually gets to a point where it needs a break, but I don't know that right away because I love what I'm doing. So what I found myself doing yesterday was it was a Sunday and it was windy, really windy, and it was colder than it had been. And so my inclination was, ooh, get to work all day, create. So I started in the morning with my partner and co-host Bridget with our Click Moments and Passionate Pursuits, the Unfolding podcast video cast, and we recorded an episode, and I was invigorated from that. And I started to dive into working on my course and continuing to look at some of the offerings that I was giving. And then I said, I really want to go for a hike. I really need that. I want to get out in nature. And there's some things that I want to think about that I think walking, because we know, or many of us know, or you probably know, that when we sit, it actually isn't the best state to be in for thinking. So we can bring stuff together and we can lay it all out, but movement kind of helps in jarring through and working through information. So I was like, you know what? I already know what I'm going to be thinking about. And so I'm going to go for a walk and see what happens when I'm supplying myself. And what was interesting was I supplied myself in a way that was so holistic and in ways I didn't even know I needed. And what I mean is, I love a good road trip. Absolutely love a good road trip. It does something to me. It does that. It just lets me take an extra breath. It clears out my mind. Any cobwebs that are there, it clears them away. And I was like, here's my ideal day. That's what I always describe. There's a drive on a country road. I'm going to go to a place because I'm a foodie and get some amazing, healthy food. I'm going to fuel myself. I'm going to go for a hike. And then afterwards, I'm going to find myself a watering hole and have a beverage. That sounds. So I was looking forward to every single part of it. And on the way, after I had uh, after I'd had lunch and I just felt fueled and supplied, I had actually, this is really interesting. I get to the place and all these people are rushing around. There's two tables of two right next to each other. They're all open. I get set in the third one. People come to the second one. They talk to each other. There's silence some. They come and go. The people to the right of me, two people talking, silence some, have their lunch, and they go. And I'm still cutting each individual bite. I'm enjoying each bite. I'm curating the perfect bite. I'm taking a little bit of hash browns, taking a little bit of the goat cheese, and I'm taking a little bit of the avocado, and I'm putting every single element of this food on one bite and taking one bite at a time. Now, I got to be honest, the people to the right and to the left of me kept looking at me and looked a little uncomfortable. They started to realize that number one, I had this and this, and it apparently makes people uncomfortable when you're by yourself and you look to be enjoying yourself. Literally, I'm writing. I'm like, do you think I'm writing about you? I'm literally just sharing my thoughts from the drive there. I had had some things I was being extremely present, and some of the things that I had milling around in my mind had come up, and I didn't want to be unsafe and write while I was driving, so I waited till I got there and I was writing. Then I was eating each bite, curated perfectly, mindfully, tasting each bite, savoring every single bite, and I wasn't in a hurry. It's my favorite day of the year. Daylight savings time ends. Yes, I was happy. I was like, I get an extra hour. I get to stay out later. I get to go out later, do some work in the morning, go out later because I get to stay out later. I was so excited. I love this day. I'm having every bite. It's beautiful. And I just take my time. People come and go. I just stay in my space, just do my thing. I enjoy that. And I'm sinking into the practice of mindfulness. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just being in that moment. When I finish, I leave and I am driving and I open myself up. I'm like, how can I just enjoy this moment? And so I was just driving and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, there's this song by Pink Sweats. So good. I want to put that on. I want to roll down the windows. I roll down the windows, put them down. And I'm like, ooh, that's my favorite moment, self-love. Favorite moment. I'm like, ooh, love putting the windows down, having a song up and just singing. And I could feel it. I was so excited. I was so excited. I was like, ooh, universe, I love what we're doing today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I feel so aligned with what the universe wants me to do. I say, bring it, bring it. I'm so excited. Well, I was so excited to say bring it that I mean 1 second later. It was almost indistinguishable between that 1 second and that moment. I say bring it. And I had no more finish bring it, and I'm feeling amazing. And the wind that is just whipping throughout the day comes. I mean, I've never felt a wind surge more than that. I'm not kidding. I felt like I was in a hurricane or a tornado. It was like, and that wind slapped the left side of my face. And even though I'm faced this way and the wind is coming this way, I have no breath in my mouth. Literally, the breath is knocked out of me. It's like I've been like punched in my stomach and I can't catch my breath. I'm like, and nothing is coming in except for I know what's happening. And I start laughing. I can't breathe. I start trying to gasp again and I can't get a breath. And I just start laughing. I'm like, in my enthusiasm, in my excitement, I say to the universe, bring it. And the universe was like, okay, and just brought it. I was like such a pure, open vessel that when I asked the universe for something, it said, all right. And the wind, which always reminds me of God, just comes up. So I can't catch my breath. I'm laughing. I can't catch my breath. So I was like, well, what do I do? I'm not going to end the experience. So I roll up this window. And when I roll up that window, it was fine. So in that moment, I was like, okay, there's a message here. I've got several different ways that I can interpret this. And so I made a note that when I got to the trailhead, made a mental note when I got to the trailhead, I would write that down and I would give it some time. I would think about what that meant, right? Because the universe is communicating with me, it's telling me something, action. But I know because I'm on a good energetic frequency that it is a message for me and it's for me, not meant to harm me. It's for me. So I'm happy. So then I just enter into it. I get to the trailhead. I get to the trailhead and I look and wow, the treetops. I mean, it's windy. There are limbs down all the way through the park to get to the trailhead, limbs down, large limbs. I see limbs kind of folded into each other. And I know windy on a trail, probably not safe, not the best decision. I have this moment where fear gets me. Just a second. And it's like, you should probably go. Like, you made it all the way here. It was a gorgeous day. You're having a great time. Cut your losses. Go home. And I was like, no, is this true? Look around. There's people all over on this trail. You're fine. If it wasn't safe, other people would have come out. You're fine. This is just fear. So I get to the trailhead. I mean, it's roaring. In the trailhead, I'm seeing that the trees are like this. And all of a sudden, I get in my mind, I go, just take steps and focus on God. Focus more on God than your fears. Just focus on your trust of the situation and that you're supposed to be here. Do you feel like you're supposed to be here? Then stay. So I kept going and I kept focusing on dirt, roots, dirt, leaves, dirt, rocks, dirt. Just kept going, doing that. And then I was like, focus on God, trust, trust. And all of a sudden, as soon as I said, yeah, as soon as I focus on God, it feels better. As soon as I said that to myself, yeah, focus on God, it feels better. Literally, the trees went silent, total quiet. And I was like, I got tears in my eyes. I got a little choked up. And then I just got happy and I was like, yes, a lesson that every single time that I have fears, is this true? If there's nothing obvious in front of me that says that you're in immediate danger, allow yourself to accept that you're right where you should be and trust and focus on the universe, spirit, God, positive energy, more than you're giving to your fear. The fear, if I focus on the fear, I would have left. Absolutely. Whatever I focus on right now is my truth. I was 150, 200 feet into the trailhead and it was perfectly still. And that's how it was the rest of my trip. The only time that I had tremendous wind was when I entered and when I exited the trailhead and when I was at the waterfall that I went to. There were 3 moments: entry, exit, and destination. Now, at the entry and exit, it felt different. Entry, whenever I experienced the wind, I was afraid. And then I had the opportunity and the invitation to focus on the universe and the truth of the divine beauty of my situation, which was roots. It was nature. It was something that was safe for me, right? This was a moment that was for me. I was able to shift it through my thoughts, which then changed my whole experience. When I got to the waterfall, that was a whole other experience, but I want to share what happened on the way. So on the way there, I was like, what's the other reason why I want to be doing this today? Because it's a radical act of self-love whenever you do things that make you happy, that you just love them, that it's something that deep down that you enjoy. So going hiking, going as a foodie to get a delicious, healthy brunch, and going for this drive today and a beverage after is my perfect day. This is for me. Now, if this sounds like your jam, it's for you too. But there's a whole other day that's for you more than likely. It might be that you wake up and you go to a farmer's market and you enjoy and you talk to people and you get some cheese and some honey and some crackers and your favorite little feasts, and you take them to a park and you have those and you enjoy it. And then you go to the beach and you spend some time just feeling what I call right sized when we're in the mountains or in a forest or on the beach or somewhere where nature is so much bigger and more grand than us than it right sized these little beings that we are. And it puts everything in perspective. It's okay. Everything's okay. We start to calm. We take everything a lot less serious, take ourselves less seriously in those moments. Whatever your decadent day is, this was my decadent day. So I'm insert your own image of what this day looks like for you. I'm sharing with you the elements of mine. I wasn't just doing the thing. I wasn't just driving. Oh, I've got to drive and I've got to get there. And then I've got to eat really quick, like the people next to me, eat really quick to do the next thing. I'm not even tasting it. I'm not even really experiencing it. I'm just hurrying up and getting through. And then I'm going to hurry up and get to the trailhead. I'm going to hurry up and hike. And I'm going to hurry up and get out of here. I'm going to hurry up and go. No, like what a missed opportunity. I chose this day. I get to savor this day. Like, so I want to savor every moment. This is an opportunity when you're choosing something. It's a radical act of self-love to be there, to be in that moment. And if you are somewhere where you don't want to be, don't do it. Be somewhere else. Make a different choice. But why would I be on in my car driving or at lunch or in the forest thinking about something else? Unless I'm just immersing myself and something comes up because it's part of something that's rattling outside of me. There's something that needs the spaciousness of those wide open spaces in order for the thoughts that I'm having to have space to make sense because it's not so busy. There's no backdrop of busyness, right? So I have this experience in the woods while I'm walking and everything is quiet. And now I'm like, oh, I've been feeling as I'm walking, I'm thinking, I've been feeling like I haven't moved enough. It's been winter. I'm usually walking every single day, and I haven't walked every single day. My body's feeling a little stiff. I need to stretch. And so I started to feel my different muscles. I'm like, I took stock and I'm like, and this is the way, this is really important, this nuance. I look at mind, body, and spirit like, so here's a scale. You're depleted in your mind. You're depleted in your spirit. You're depleted in your body down here. So mind, body, spirit. And each one of these can go from here to I am lit off the chain, right? So what happens is if your mind is fragmented, is distracted, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not pouring into yourself. So you only have the information that you know now. There's nothing new coming in. So all you have is the lens that you have now. You've got a new issue that you're thinking of, but you're not taking in anything new. So how could your mind be supplying you for this new direction, right? So you've got your mind, then you've got your body. So I'm not moving my body. This is down here. I'm not moving it. I'm feeding it sugar and I'm feeding it all kinds of high fat, high carbohydrate. I'm feeding it things that I know depletes me, things that makes me bloated, makes me slowed down. I don't feel good, right? Stress is overwhelming me. I've got stress hormones pouring into my body. I'm constantly trying to overcome it down here. Spirit, I'm too busy to connect beyond. I don't have time for that. I'm working all day. I'm taking care of the kids. I barely have time. Sunday, maybe I give it an hour. But it's just on occasion, right? I don't have ongoing communications. Maybe I pray over my food on occasion, but I don't have an ongoing relationship, right? So here's the baseline down here. And then here's 10. Here's at the top. Mind. Oh man, I'm excited about this thing I'm doing. I'm supplying myself. I'm taking in audio books about this topic that I'm wanting to grow in. I'm watching video casts. I'm looking at documentaries. I'm reading books. I'm talking to people that are doing this already. I'm feeding myself. I'm learning new information. Here's mind or body. When my body's strong, I'm sleeping like I'm supposed to. I'm not drinking too much caffeine. I'm not drinking too much sugar. I'm not taking in too many substances. I'm not having too much, too many things to drink, too many things that make me feel less energy. Um, I'm exercising and walking and doing things that I enjoy that make me feel good. Spirit. I'm having conversations with God and the universe every single day. I'm giving thanks ongoing. I recognize the ways that I'm supplied. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so much belonging because I know that I'm worthy and the universe loves me and everything is for me. And I'm tuned into my intuition. And when I need something, I'm asking for the universe, hey, help give me some guidance, give me some answers. I'm connected. I believe in you, right? These are the things. So imagine when I'm not feeling my mind and I'm not feeling my body, but my spirit's up here. I'm mind low, body low, spirit here. Now imagine my capabilities here, right? When my mind is up here, imagine my capabilities. But my mind is down here. My body's up here. My body and spirit up here. Like I said, mind. So body and spirit up here. Mind's down here. So what we want is that sweet spot where we're supplying and taking things into our mind and we're getting energized and our world is expanding because we're growing what we know in the world and we're learning from others. And when our body is strong, we're responsive, we can actually do the things that we feel like that we're meant to do. And then when our spirit is strong, we know where to go to supply. So we have infinite solutions, right? So we can either be depleted in trying to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, or we can be completely fueled. Most times we're like here, maybe here, here, or here. So we're constantly being adjusted. So I say this because this is the mindset that I'm in. I'm committed to taking in information, being connected to the universe, and allowing myself to have time to commune and fueling my body. Now, here's the thing. You may say, who's got time for all that? What if you choose activities to do on your day in and day out to supply you in all ways? So here's my day. I listen to an audio book for about 15 minutes, conversations with God, and I'm fueling myself. Ooh, it's got percolating. I'm thinking, I'm taking in information, right? So I'm fueling myself, but then today I'm fueling myself. Today I'm out there on the trail and my body is like, so where do I feel like I need some work? I feel like I need it in my stomach. I need my core because I know that when my core is strong, then my metabolism is stronger and I can burn fat more, right? So I'm like, ooh, I need to use my poles, my hiking poles, because then think about that. Do the motion. When you do the motion, it adjusts your core. And so it activates that for hours, every single step, core, core, right? If you're in the gym and you're working your core, what are you working at? Like 15 minutes, hours, right? But it doesn't feel like I'm working it out because I love it. I absolutely love it. Every single step. I'm not going to choose something to do that I don't love. Self love. When you're fueling your body, do things that you love. There's way too many things that you love in this world for somebody to say, you should be doing yoga. Do you like yoga? If you go and you don't like yoga, stop it. Maybe you have the wrong class because yoga is not yoga, is not yoga. There are way different, there's so many different, depends on the facilitator, depends on the type of yoga. So go to different studios, try it, but find something that you love. So I'm out here and I'm like, okay, stomach needs to be engaged. Okay, it's engaged. My body is being worked out. My mind's been worked out before. And then I'm focusing on my legs and I'm like, ooh, I want to get underneath my quads and I want to make sure I'm getting my butt. So what do I got to do? If my muscle is being used in my action, then that's working out that muscle. So what do I mean? When I take slow steps and I take the easy route around something, then I'm getting a pretty decent workout. But when I take, instead of taking this route and there's a step that's this big and I've got to step up on it, I notice that it actually works out that muscle that I want on my leg. Also works out my butt muscle. So I'm like, interesting. If I take every once in a while, let's say every fourth or fifth time, I take that high step, then I work out that muscle. I got off the trail. I was like, felt so good. And every single step, I was loving it. Now, mind was filled up because I'd listened to a little bit of an audiobook. My body, I'm focusing every single step. I'm not focusing on anything other than my body. I'm even sometimes, because I'm thinking about my spirit, I'm thinking about mindfulness. So when I'm mindful and I'm just focusing on what I'm doing in that rhythm, there's spaciousness. Number one, I'm practicing deepening the neuro pathway of single pointedness, of monotasking. I want to cultivate my capacity to be focused. If I want to cultivate my capacity to be focused, then I have to focus. And so my practice is monotasking. So here I am out on this trail, stepping and going, Ram Dass, be here now. Be here now. Be here now. Working out my body and I'm working out my mind in a single pointed way. So I am developing and cultivating my ability to focus. And then when I get to this waterfall, that's the second moment that the wind picked up. And it was the wind was just ripping. I had to put on my external layer, my coat, and I was drenched. This coat was drenched. And I was so happy because the wind was just hitting me and it was invigorating. And I just allowed myself to receive spirit. I found a spot I'd never found. I've been to this waterfall 60 times, and it's the first time I've ever seen this spot. I walked right to it, right in front of the waterfall. Perfect spot. And I got on this huge rock and I meditated. So this is my spirit and single pointedness. So every activity aligned with my goals: strong body, strong mind, strong spirit. And it was something that was very intentional, but didn't feel like work. I just knew that ahead of time, that it was all going to align. And so what it was, because I had intentionally planned that these are the types of things that I do, things that supply me, I just received the most amazing day. I feel so filled up. I loved every single minute. I didn't want to be anywhere else. I wasn't distracted on my phone. I wasn't thinking about other things. I was able to meditate, and every single bit of it, I felt like I was loving on myself. So people talk about self-care, but for me, this is a radical act of self-love, to allow yourself to enjoy what you're doing to your body, mind, and spirit, to actually experience things that feel good. And there's no reason for me to do something that doesn't feel good when it comes to my mind, body, and spirit, if it's something that I have my mind wrapped around with why I'm choosing to do it. Once I agree that this is the right thing for me, then I just get to enjoy it. But can I receive it? And so this is what this day was, is it was like, can I receive this day? Can I implement this day? Can I do this day and actually receive all the fruit of what this is offering? There are lessons to learn. Face your fear and focus on God. And then you receive this beautiful gift. And then coming out, knowing that the trees are a vibration that surpasses, it's thousands of hertz on the hertz frequency scale, whereas my little self is like down here. Maybe I was at 650, right? And trees are up here in the thousands. The time I left, I felt buoyant. When I say I came out of there and I was like, I was at the end of a long hike, hours. And I felt like I had just started because I was so filled up and so supplied. And I felt my muscles strong and my mind strong and my spirit strong. So when we're mind, body, and spirit strong in what we're doing, whatever is uniquely for us supplying, we leave a 4-hour hike with more energy than we started. How is that possible? I just worked out for 4 hours straight and I felt more energy. How is that possible? Because I was fueling myself. I was fueling myself. I was doing something that supplied me, that brought my energy up. I'm not sore today. I pushed myself. I feel strong, right? And so when we're supplying ourselves in a way that truly is ours and is supplying us, that is a radical act of self-love. But it is something that we have to be intentional about. We have to think about it ahead of time. We have to say, when I have this precious day to do whatever I want, what does this look like? And give ourselves freedom to do that. Maybe you say, well, I'm married and I've got kids and I've got responsibilities. If you're married and you have kids, then you have resources. Yeah, you got responsibilities, but you also have resources and you get to be part of this life. And so your partner, I'm sure, would be more than happy to be able to help you because it's an act of love to you to help you and allow you to have that space. And I'm sure you would extend the same thing for them, right? So whether or not you are uh, married, you have a family, you have a best friend, you have somebody that you can rely on. It's so interesting. I find that so many times we're reluctant and we apologize for wanting to take time for ourselves, but it's not something that we need to apologize for, taking time for ourselves. Now, if we were taking time every single day and never getting the things that we're responsible to do done, that's different. But I'm also going to take every time every single day. I'm designing a life that is something that I love living. I believe that we can build a sustainable way forward in our lives. And so this self-love that I'm proposing to you is you committing to yourself. I wonder what would happen if I actually loved every single thing that I was intentionally allowing in my life. If I loved the ways that I fueled my body, ways that I fueled my mind, the ways that I interacted with spirit, the ways that I gave in this world, the ways that I chose to spend my time and with whom. Every single decision is a radical act of self-love. So if we want to feel stronger, then we have to do things that make us stronger. If we want to feel more happy, then we have to be committed to finding more ways to be happy. It's not about the external circumstances happening upon us. It's about us choosing with the time that we have to do that. I could have been depleted. I could have said, hey, that seems like a lot to go an hour and 15 minutes one way to this beautiful hike that I love, an hour to eat. And like, if I would have broke it all down, if I want to get into the details of it, I could have talked myself out of it. But it's allowing ourselves to have that day. And it's the quality of the day that I want to point out before we end this topic. When you have a day like this, there's a certain quality to now. It's decadent. It's beautiful. You savor it. You don't want to be anywhere else but there. There's a quality to now that you know that you're exactly where you want to be. That's what you're looking for. That's a radical act of self-love, that you're exactly where you want to. Thought about that. I was like, I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm in the mountains. I made a decision to take a risk and do this. It starts there with your emphatic yes. And it's one emphatic yes after another. So choose yourself, my friends, in every single way, and watch what happens with your life. Love yourself in the best possible ways. It should feel good. So, a special thanks to Micah McKenzie, who did the incredible cover art for Click Moments. And this week, I want to give a special thank you to Bridget Corms, who's been helping me with all of my courses. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to get all of this work out to you. So, I want to thank Bridget for all the work with the work that I'm authentically you. You can check it out on my site, www.bethward.com. Become the version of you that can create the life you love. Until next time, my friends, peace, love, and light.